My name is Teshkel Perez Angelonis, and my presentation is on police shortages throughout the country. My presentation is based on a 2018 article from NPR, and it's about a nationwide shortage of police officers and new police recruits at the national, state, and local level. Between the years of 2013 and 2018, there was a decline of 23,000 police officers nationwide, which averages out to about a 4 to 5,000 officer decline every year in this time period. Looking farther back in time, we can see that this has been an issue for over 20 years. In 1997, there were 2.42 police officers per thousand people in the general population, and in 2016, that had dropped to 2.17 people per thousand officers per thousand people. As you could imagine, this has created many problems which we will look into later on, but first we're going to look at the causes of the issue. The three main causes of this issue have been a hot job market, media portrayal of police officers, and changing expectations of new recruits. A hot job market means that many potential candidates are being taken away by other jobs who offer better salaries, better opportunities, or just safer jobs overall. Additionally, the recent and highly publicized instances of police brutality have kept many young people from wanting to pursue a career in law enforcement. And their changing expectations of what law enforcement should be sometimes don't match up with what agencies are looking for. For example, a lot of new recruits these days want their jobs in law enforcement to be more as people helping the community rather than people enforcing laws, which can be good or can be bad depending on how each agency approaches um, the idea. There are many negative effects to this issue, but three of the main ones are overworked officers, underserved communities, and competition between departments. Having overworked officers leads to a lot of overtime, which can be very expensive for police departments and can also be very taxing for the officers that have to work the overtime. Many communities are also left underserved as there aren't as many officers on duty as there should be, and the officers that are on duty are often tired from the excessive amounts of overtimes that they are forced to work. Due to the shortages, many richer communities have police departments that can offer better wages and benefits, and this leads to many officers jumping between one department and another in order to get a higher paying job. Because of the shortage of new recruits, many police departments have had to lower their recruiting standards or at least change them to meet their needs. Under Sheriff Jeff Morey from Washington County, Oregon, said, "We now allow facial hair, we allow tattoos, we allow earrings. The sheriff's office will even hire people who admit to past use of marijuana." While people with tattoos and earrings might be just as good at being police officers as people without them, it goes to show how desperate these departments are that they're willing to change their standards on what they had considered to be acceptable for even applying to the job. This issue is very facts-based, very numbers-based, and as a result, there are very few people who would argue that there is no problem or on a way to change the problem, fix the problem. This also greatly affects the community because they're being underserved and are potentially in greater danger because of a lack of police officers. Another important thing to note going forward is that there is and will continue to be a disproportionate amount of inexperienced officers on the job. Even if somehow a lot of officers could be hired within the next couple of years, all of these officers would be very inexperienced and there would not be a lot of people for them to look up to or to learn from and be supported by. I think in order to resolve this issue, there are two main things that departments need to do. The first, and probably the hardest, is that they need to get more funding, and the second is that they need to change their approach to hiring. In my personal experience, I have seen that many departments are changing their hiring approach. The state of Connecticut recently put up a website entirely dedicated to recruiting new officers, full of useful information, such as benefits, and the whole process of getting hired, what it looks like. The other important thing, however, is funding so that they can get police officer salaries and benefits up to a place where more people will feel that these benefits will outweigh the risks and potential negatives of being a police officer.